Hey y'all, Tom Maddrey here, ASMP's General Counsel and Head of National Content Education. Really quick update on something momentous that happened, and this could be a big deal moving forward. So, if you've been following ASMP, you've been following the case of the Andy Warhol Foundation versus Lynn Goldsmith. What is this case about? Well, first, go right to the other show we have here, Focus on the Law, episode 1. I spend the whole show talking about this case. Now, I filmed that back in October. And at that point, what had happened is that Lynn Goldsmith, a photographer, amazing photographer, ASMP member, long time, was involved in this case concerning an image that she took of the musical artist Prince, which was then licensed as an artist reference for an unnamed artist who turned out to be Andy Warhol. Now, in the course of this, Andy Warhol created a whole series of works outside of the artist reference that was going to be used in a magazine, and that was dubbed the Prince series. There's been conflict over who owns the copyright and fair use, and issues about licensing fees and magazines. Look, you can get all the details in Focus on the Law, episode 1, or go to ASMP, and I'll put the links in the description where you can read. I've written about this case for years now. The upshot is that the case went to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. That's the court that's in New York, and that covers New York. And it's one step below the U.S. Supreme Court. And Lynn actually won the case in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. The Second Circuit agreed with her and said Andy Warhol's use of this image was not fair use. This wasn't a situation where the fair use portions of the law could be applied. And so that was a very important ruling, and a very big ruling for photographers, for content creators who create work that others may use, right? Now, that decision, through a whole series of things related to this other Supreme Court case called Google versus Oracle, that decision was then, the court was asked to reconsider that decision in light of the new things from Google versus Oracle. Turns out the Second Circuit said, nope, we emphatically say that our original analysis is the correct analysis. Okay. So Lynn won twice at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Fast forward to this week. The Andy Warhol Foundation filed what's known as a petition for cert with the U.S. Supreme Court. What that means is they said, hey, U.S. Supreme Court, please hear our case. We don't think the Second Circuit got it right. We want you to hear the case and make a decision. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court does not take many cases, like really few cases compared to the number of petitions for cert that they get. But here's the deal. They said earlier this week, they're going to take this case. They're going to take Andy Warhol Foundation versus Lynn Goldsmith as a U.S. Supreme Court case. And the question that they're answering, the question they're looking at, is about this first factor of fair use, and specifically an area of it that talks about transformative use and what makes something transformative or not transformative. This is a big deal. I cannot express how likely it is that we're going to be talking about the Andy Warhol Foundation versus Goldsmith case decades into the future, right? Because this is going to create law. And it's very important that everyone who's involved creating copyrights, using copyrighted works and what they do under fair use statutes, it's important that everyone keeps an eye on this case. Now, we're going to have a lot more on this case as it develops in the coming months, but I wanted to get out and I wanted to let you know a little bit of the initial news. The Supreme Court is going to take this fall, they're going to hear the Andy Warhol Foundation versus Lynn Goldsmith. That is a big deal. We're going to be writing about it a lot over at ASMP. You're going to see lots of videos of it here. I look forward to talking to you all about it, all of the ins and outs. Again, if you want the background and the details of the case, go check out Focus on the Law, episode 1. That's where everything's going to be. I'm Tom Maddrey. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.